Everyone's eyes are set at the Commonwealth Games, but there is a lot going on in the world of athletics as Cali hosts the Under-20 World Athletics Championship. Tebogo from Botswana has set the Under-20 world record in the 100-meter sprint race by finishing the race in merely 9.91 seconds. Hi, I have with me News9 Sports editor Sandeep Mishra for this special show. Let's see what's his opinion on Tebogo's victory. Sandeep, the Botswana international ran at a breathtaking speed, isn't it?
Oh, it was terrific. I mean, I think we were just discussing the Eugene part of the World Championships, and our man would have finished somewhere around fourth. I mean, that's a terrific time. I mean, for somebody
9.91.
Yeah, and this is his second U20. He's already a silver medalist at the last World Championship 200 meters, and look at his 200-meter timing that he did last night, 19.99, which is much better than the 20 plus that Usain Bolt, which I think is going to be your next question. Is he going to be the next Usain Bolt?
He was so fast that at the end of the race, he was taunting the silver medalist, Rumi. He later said in the interview, Sandeep, that he feels sorry if that felt offensive, but he was just pumped up and he did that for his people back in home at Botswana who were cheering for him. But he is being compared to the greatest of all times, Usain Bolt. The athlete also considers him as his idol. Do you think that he could be, the 19-year-old could be the next big thing?
I mean, he already is the big thing. At 9.91, when you are already on the top 6 podium for a Eugene World Championships, looking at just purely the timing, looking at 19.99, which is extraordinary under any circumstances, he already is a big athlete in that term. Comparing him to somebody like Usain Bolt is something that you will have to then probably run like him over a period of 2 Olympic Games, 3 World Championships.
Maintain that consistency.
More than the consistency, Hardik, I think it's also a part of whether Botswana is willing to invest that kind of money that really went into Usain Bolt. You know, the kind of training facilities, the infra. Botswana has a fantastic record when it comes to 400 and the 800. They have really done well in those areas.
Right.
The 100 and 200, they have really never touched that peak which Jamaica has. So this is going to be something extremely new. It's almost like what happened in the Commonwealth men's final. You had a Kenyan winning the, you know. So it's almost like whether he can take that climb up. But for a person who's already done 2 World Championships at U20 level, has run his best, I think most of these guys, most of these athletes that you see are the ones who are now going to run on the American circuit, are going to probably join the universities out there and become part of the NCAA, and that is where most of the talent is. If not in Europe, then they all go to American universities and be part of that, and that's where
Even
you
he
get
will
competition.
be joining University of Oregon.
Has he already said that?
Yeah, I read that somewhere that he will be joining University of Oregon.
Well, then you can safely say that probably with Coleman going down, with most of these guys looking at Paris, then he is your finalist in Paris. Now, whether he can make 9.91, 9.81, or probably even go to 9.79 is something that will happen in that 4 years or whatever years he has left at Oregon when he joins, and being part of the American sprinting team. So when I say American sprinting team, it has to be with all these athletes, whether he gets to
Big
train
ones.
with them or not. And the kind of coaching that he gets and who's on top of him, who tells him what to do. Bolt had a fantastic structure. Bolt had a terrific coaching backup that actually allowed him to, you know, be this free-spirited runner that he became eventually. Whether he reaches those heights is something that's going to take a lot more discussions, I guess.
If he does touch 19.8, then certainly he will meet his idol Usain Bolt. But Sandeep, even Indian athletes are making us proud at the U20 Championship in Colombia. We have bagged a silver medal in the 4x400 meter relay event. Bharat Sridhar, Priya Mohan, Kapil and Rupal Chaudhary completed the finals in 3 minutes 17.7 seconds. Sandeep, how big of an achievement is this for the Indian athletic scene?
Huge when it comes to U20. But understand, for us, that jump becomes much more difficult. Right now, when you speak of Tobago, that jump becomes realistic because he's going to an American university. I'm not saying that if you are in India, you're not able to achieve that. But most of these athletes will now run the circuit here. They're going to run against competition that is much below them, you know, in a way. So for them to rise to a particular level at U21 or go then to 22, 23, what do they have? How many competitions do they have that they can, you know, increase their levels? They have done this. Now to get past all of these timings and create something at the Asian level is going to be a massive task for them. And for that, I honestly don't know how many of them will really go abroad or get that kind of competition that they actually crave for. You have to have, and we've spoken about this so many times, you have to have...
The surroundings should be
The
like
environment
that.
has to be, environment has to be runner friendly. The environment has to be where every weekend you're competing. Whether you're competing for time is something different. Whether you, and the more important thing is whether you're competing with fellow athletes who are in and around your timing. Now for Tebogo, for somebody who's done 9.91, you put him in an environment where most of the athletes are running 10:05, 10:06, 10:08, his timing will come down. For 2 years, if he does that, his timing is going to come down. He's not being pushed. Now, the same thing happens here. How many of, like last U20 World Championship, Shaili Singh in the long jump, she got a silver. Now, suddenly there is this, a little bit of a darkness out there. I'm not saying that she is not talented. I'm not saying that she's not going to win again. She will. You need more and more competitions at that level to be able to get past what you've jumped at the U20 to win a silver and then finally go to the Olympics and do better. Personal bests have to be better. Your national records have to fall consistently. That's where most of the competition is.
True. They need the surroundings, they need the environment. Also, Sandeep, among these four, Rupal has qualified for the finals of the 400-meter race. There will be a tough competition for her in the finals. She would be up against the likes of Henriette, Ellie and Berta. Your thoughts on that, Sandeep?
My thoughts are very simple. On top of that list sits Norway. Now, Norway has been dominating the 400 hurdles. Okay, you saw at the World Championships.
Yeah, Jacob.
Then they are dominating the 400 flat also in a way.
Yeah.
So, just look at the whole rise of Norway as a nation in terms of, you know, a 400 or a 800 or even 100 and 200. I bet they have a whole lot of athletes who have seen what Warhol has done and then now want to do better than him in that sense. This is a massive competition. You have Great Britain, you have Spain, you have Australia, who's again very good in the 400, and you have Norway. If she can better what she did in the semis, and if she can be, listen, a top 3 seems a little out of it because of the timings, just by sheer timings. But if she can still crack a top 6, a top 5, a 4th and the 5th place, believe me, is a very big result for her. Big result. For somebody who used to do 53.73 at the national championships, now to do these timings and then probably go better into the final, I think that will be, would be really
But
good.
it's already a big thing that she's in the finals, right?
It's a big thing. I mean, a U20 World Championships final, you look at where Neeraj Chopra was. He won it. He became the Olympic champion. You see Hima Das winning the 400. Though I'm a little surprised, and sometimes, you know, we can argue on this till kingdom comes that, you know, why did she leave 400 to come to 100, 200? And today she's run the 200 and the Commonwealth Games.
Right.
Now, I really don't know the reasons to shift from 400 to 100 and 200. Maybe she probably wants to sprint harder. Probably that's why, or maybe the coaches know better. But she's done well there and she's still on the circuit. So anybody who goes to a U20 final surely has a definite landscape in front where you can say, okay, fine, I'm going to get to the Asian Games final, I'm going to get to the Asian Games podium. But even at the Asian Games, the competition is getting tougher. I just wanted to make a point of that 100-meter thing that you were saying. There are 3 Asians in the 100-meter final. I have never heard of this. Maybe the past records have not been checked, you know, in a better way. But to have a Thailand runner who at the age of 16 is in the final, to have a Japanese, to have a Malaysian is enormous. And this stems from the fact that if you watched the 100 final yesterday in the Commonwealth Games, the bronze medalist was a Sri Lankan. Why is an Indian not in the final of the sprinting? Why is it Sri Lanka? I'm not saying Sri Lankan shouldn't be there, but I'm saying just look at the rise of these nations in 100 meters. They were never coming into the sprint.
So, have the Asian countries started investing more?
I think they've started competing more. Investment, Japan already has. You know, Thailand has a very good infra. Malaysia, believe me, has tremendous infrastructure. I've seen their stadiums. They are super in whatever way. Of course, sometimes the level of coaching may not be there. But these are the results that show that something good is happening at the sub-junior and junior level. Of course, I mean, you look at Rupal, you know that our junior stuff is also happening. But for a bunch of juniors to go into 100, 200, 400, 800, 1500, 3000, all of that, when you see somebody going to a semi, somebody going to a final, that is where you see that there is a forward movement happening.
Right.
Let's take Rupal as a tremendous forward movement and hope more and more come. And you know, just one last point on this. It's Neeraj Chopra's Olympic gold medal. That is going to be a catalyst for the next decade.
Right.
Till we have somebody else out there who picks up a gold or a silver. It's like what Bindra did. It's like so many others who did. He's become the catalyst. And these are the runners, you know, when a 16-year-old Boonson from Thailand, 16-year-old, he's running a U20. He's still got 4 years to reach U20. I know how many U20s he'll do. If the World Championship happens every year, he's going to be running in the next 3. And then he's going to win. And then the whole catalyst thing will come in, and there'll be this massive amount of sprinters who want to run.
Right.
So this is what India requires, and this is where I think we are headed for, and it's tremendous. I mean, the next U20 or the next Asian Games, I think you'll see more medals out there.
Right, Sandeep. Let's see what Rupal has to offer in the finals. She will be performing in the finals tomorrow morning at 4 o'clock, so don't miss that. That's it from this special show. Thank you so much, Sandeep. We'll be back with more interesting news, insights, facts and figures from the world of sports. Until then, keep watching News 9 and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. This is Hardik Agrawal signing off.